Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Stories of Yanko back here with another video. And man, oh man. Y'all knew I was gonna do this. Oh, it sucks, man, because I went back and forth. Look, I went back and forth thinking about, should I talk about these two players, Jason Tatum and Damian Lillard, because they had catastrophic injuries, like Achilles ruptures. And it's like, it's crazy that two players I talked the most trash about ruptured their Achilles. So if it put me in a weird position, I'm like, dang, should I even talk about them? Should I even keep it real? Because they were playing trash before the injuries. Jason Tatum did have 2 games after that, like that he played decent, right? Well, he had a really good game and then he had a decent game. But, I'm over here thinking like, should I make these videos, because I know how people are going to receive them, because everybody pretends to be a fan or pretends that they didn't say something negative about said player until they get injured. Like, it's like after they get injured, it's like, oh my God, prayers and all this stuff. I'm not going to do all that. Yes, I do send prayers to Damian Lillard and Jason Tatum, and I hope they make full recoveries. I hope their family stays beside them, and the fans that love them stick beside them. Yes, as people, I wish them the best. As men, I wish them the best. But as players, hopefully they get back on the court. But I'm talking about prior to the injuries, who they are. And I say, Damian Lillard, I have been 100% spot on, dog. Like, I'm talking about, man. One thing that I'm always going to be right about is Damian Lillard. Death, taxes, and me being right about Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, it was never going to work out. Ever. Now Giannis is plotting on his way out. Giannis trying to get Giannis trying to get up out of there. You feel me? And we are going to talk about the situation with the Mavericks. But, yeah, man, I was right. But my uncle, he tore his Achilles. Yeah, and he was still playing trash before then. So I'm not going to blame the series on injuries or anything like that. You got bounced by the same guy. And everybody was talking trash. Like, he was on the sideline talking trash. Yes, the blood clots suck also. But he was talking trash. And at the end of the day, when you step on the court, it's just like in the boxing ring. Once you step into that ring, there's no excuses. Once you step on the court, there's no excuses. If you was medically cleared to go, you're cleared to go. And people say, oh, he came back too soon, but he tore his Achilles. Like, it wasn't a blood clot, But it sucks. It sucks, and a lot of this stuff was like kind of no contact. Like, it's like, it sucks. It really does. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not saying anybody should have a preferred timeline to tear their Achilles or rupture it. I'm no. All I'm saying is this is far less catastrophic to Dame now than it would have been, say, 5 years ago. Even 3 years ago. It would have been less impactful, because honestly, I said Dame was washed for a while now. Like, Dame was a better rapper than he was a basketball player at this point in time in his career. And, it was true. And, not saying that his career is completely over with, but it's just like Dame had already lost a step. I don't know where Dame goes from here, I'm not sure where he goes as a player from here, because it's like his athleticism had declined a lot, and I'm not sure if that quick first step, I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do, because I said that the whole Milwaukee experiment wasn't going to work, and I'm glad that he went there, because it can finally show the levels between him and Curry, the levels between him and Kyrie, and that those two guys were on a whole different level. It's Steph way up here, then it's a sizable gap, Kyrie, and then a sizable gap, and then everybody else. It's a big gap, So that's the reason why I was happy that he went to Milwaukee. But I said that it would not work out. I got to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, him and Giannis. Expose Giannis completely. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And yeah, I'm going to talk about Giannis. I'm going to talk about Giannis in another video, because, yeah. But my thing is, Damian Lillard, I was right about him. Guy was never a winning player. Ever. Never winning player. He was never going to win anything. And it's like, it's unfortunate that, things turn out this way because I wanted to make the videos prior to that. But once it happened, I had to scrap videos. So I'm making videos after. I'm not talking about these guys as people. I'm like, oh, I'm not happy that him and Tatum ruptured their Achilles. No. That's not in me. I don't care about that. I'm talking about strictly them as basketball players. What were they doing before those moments? Trash. Terrible. Hold the team back. So that's all I can go off of, if I'm being honest with you. And I know guys are going to get upset, but you can watch all my videos. I've been very consistent on this. I have been very spot on about it. You guys lost. It's okay. Yeah, I'm not talking about like Damian. I'm talking about you guys lost this war of pushing these agendas. You guys lost this war of putting certain guys on a pedestal that never belonged there. You guys lost it. Everybody, I'm talking about Rusty Buckets too. When I said that this whole experiment wasn't going to work, and it wasn't really due to the injuries, these guys just weren't that good together, if I'm being honest with you. They just weren't that good. They weren't going to be the Pacers anyway. Just like based on the way that Dame was playing, if he never even ruptured his Achilles, based on the way Dame was playing and Giannis, they were not going to beat the Pacers. They were not going to beat them. Plain and simple. We know this. That's a fact. The Pacers just had their number. Plain and simple. So I'm not going to make the injury excuse that people made last year because I felt like the Pacers still would have beat them. And I said that. And here we are again. They beat them again. So yeah, like it didn't matter whether they had Dame or not. It didn't matter. They were going to beat them still. Tyrese Halliburton was still going to outplay him. Still. Because Tyrese Halliburton is a better basketball player than Damian Lillard at this point. Tyrese Halliburton has been a better number one option in his career than Damian Lillard has ever been in Portland. 2 conference finals appearances. So, and potentially a finals appearance. That tops anything. And also to play in the conference finals. Like, so it's like, let's talk about it. But basically, I was right. I don't always like being right about this stuff. You guys literally, man, I can go back to so many of these videos that I posted. You guys, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It told me everything. You guys get fed these narratives of what y'all think. I don't do that. Sometimes I watch boxing matches and NBA games on mute because I don't want people telling me what I should think. I'm actually watching the games. I watched these guys for years. And I told you, Damian Lillard wasn't that guy. He wasn't. He was never that guy. He was never that guy. He was the last person out of that point guard generation to get exposed. You can go back and watch all my videos. I've been saying this, dog. I am not finna sit up here and pretend that I wasn't talking about this guy and how his career was panning out before he ruptured his Achilles. You guys show fake love all the time. You guys are fake. You are fake. All these guys. Rusty Buckets. Oh, you're an idiot if you think that Giannis and Dame aren't going to work out. Who's the idiot now? You had to make a video the year prior, like to this one, talking about, oh man, it was just this. Now look at you. All you guys did was glazing these guys. Glazing these guys. The Bucks. I've been telling y'all the same thing about the Bucks. The Bucks were habitual flameouts. They had 1 year where they got over the hump because everybody was injured, and the dudes that could have took them out was the most injured team that they had played. Come on now. They played nothing but injured teams. Nothing but injured teams, bro. They had everything go their way. Everything. And then every year after that, boom, flame out. Boom, flame out. Boom, flame out. Trade this person, trade that person. Boom, flame out. Flame out. Flame out. Flame out. And y'all just want to keep making excuses. These guys were doing the same thing after. The only anomaly is the 1 year. This is what these guys are. Same thing with Dame. Same thing with Dame. Flame out, flame out, flame out. Underperform, underperform, underperform. And you guys are going to blame this and blame that? No! Call it like it is. These guys are getting older anyway. It was a blessing that these guys didn't get injured earlier on in their career like a Derrick Rose, to where we could see how these guys pan out. We can't say a what if Dame never ruptured his Achilles. We can't say what if because he was playing bad before he did. The Bucks were going to lose before he did. It didn't matter. People can't say, oh, well, you know, if they had Dame this game and that game, they had him those games and he played terrible. Dame was playing bad to the point that he was showing levels on defense like that we've never seen. Ever. So shout out to him for doing that. But it's like, I'm just not going to pretend. I'm not going to fake it. I'm not going to do that. I wish Dame a speedy recovery. Tatum too. But as far as these two guys, I've been right about them. You guys are going to come with all the hate, but it's never going to change anything. Yes, Dame is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Tatum is a first ballot Hall of Famer. But how their careers are going to be remembered amongst their peers is going to be exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. People are not going to perceive Damian Lillard on the same level as a Kyrie Irving. Not even as a Russell Westbrook. Definitely not as a Steph Curry. Y'all had this guy in conversations that he never belonged in. And, you know, unfortunately, these conversations have come to an end. We've seen what Kyrie can do with anybody. With anybody. You know? We've seen what Dame can do by himself and with one of the greatest players of all time. Nothing. Peace.